I think Darnold, because of his experience, is going to win that job. I could be totally wrong because my eyes want to see the guy drafted number 3 overall, and it would be awesome, not Brock getting hurt, but if we saw Trey, like Steiny says, hey, Goo, no shade at anybody, but paraphrase him, I want to see 4 football games quarterbacked by Trey Lance, and what he also was saying, you tell me what you think, he wants to see Trey in that position of everybody around him, a limousine, the ones. You know what I mean? So when you watch what he's doing tangibly on the football field, we'll never be like, well, his O-line was they could still be shaky. But, he's throwing that screen to Debo.
Yeah.
He has that luxury of giving it to
right.
Everything going to be easier regardless. If it were you, John, or Spadoni.
Got to be careful with the screen now. Get
some height on 3.
Get some height on it.
I hated that one.
888-957-9570. Who do you want as your QB2?
Oh, my gosh.
Trey Lance or Sam Darnold?
The 510. I got to read this. You think those guys on the team really care who the backup is? You guys are the only ones obsessed with this. How? That's offensive.
There's no way.
Get your head out of the sand.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, my goodness. That's a big position on a football team.
Yeah. I mean, specifically on this team, maybe not other teams.
Hello?
If you had Aaron Rodgers, who never misses time, maybe, or Tom Brady, who rarely misses time.
Eli Manning never got credit for.
How can you look at, unless you think it was mostly Jimmy, okay, and we talked about Brock Purdy in 8 games. He had a broken rib, a cracked rib, and a torn UCL. So that's why we're talking about the backup QB. But here's what I'm thinking, Goo, and hang with me here.
Yeah.
When Kyle says hot hand this, hot hand that, could you also, and I'm going to take a page out of Steiny's book. I can feel his energy. He actually just followed me back on Twitter. It took a while. It took about 2 years.
When did it happen?
This morning. So he finally did.
Look at Stiles.
And I'm going to take a page out of his book when he talks about wanting to see Trey for multiple games and how we've seen with Trey, it takes him a while to get going. Obviously, he needed reps. So this is what I'm thinking, Goo. Could it matter who the backup QB is based on what the injury is, right? Like if Brock Purdy is out and he might be able to return or whatever, basically Sam Darnold is your emergency backup QB. Brock's out for a couple plays. We're going to put in Sam Darnold because we know what he can do. We believe what we can do. We're going to get into that later about why Sam Darnold all of a sudden he can benefit from these weapons, but other people can't. But we know what Sam Darnold, we think we know what he can do in this offense. He's got a very talented arm. Hey, just go here. He's experienced. If it's just a quick, hey, Brock might be out, we don't know how long. If it's 1 game, it would be Sam Darnold. If it's 2 games, it would be Sam Darnold. But if Brock is out for a long period of time, let's say 4 or 5 games, when at that point you have to start thinking of, hey, what do we think this ceiling with this team is with our real deal quarterback out? Maybe if it's a longer period of time, do you say, okay, Brock's going to be out for 5 weeks. Do we want to just see what Trey can do? Versus Brock's only going to be out for 2 weeks. Let's go with Sam Darnold because we know he's going to keep the ship afloat and it's not going to be a roller coaster the way it could be with Trey, but with longer games, we believe that Trey could get it going.
I'm not mad at the energy you put into that, but I just feel like, especially last year, Kyle will never wave the flag. And especially this team, as we talked about yesterday.
I guess it's not about waving the flag.
But it's also, too, trust, right? If it's a short sample size, and let's just say, and sometimes they don't know, Alan, if it's a play, if it's a drive, the guy coming in represents who I trust more. And I guess that goes against your theme of, quantity and how many games the guy would be out. But for me, and what I believe coaches have done throughout time is, I don't care when it is, if my QB1 goes down, the next person you see under center is the guy I trust most with my football life or my football team.
No, I know, and maybe I'm grasping.
Because the Niners are loaded. They did it last year with the third Mr. Irrelevant.
Right.
Maybe they didn't skip a beat.
Right. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here. I just feel that we know Trey is going to take more time, but again, you have too many guys in their prime I'm not even saying to mess around and throw games. I think Trey, again, we haven't really seen Trey with this fully loaded offense, But ultimately, I think Sam is in the lead, and I think it probably will be Sam Darnold. But it was just a thought I had as Sam Darnold. If it's, hey, Brock Purdy's week to week or 2 games, Sam's our guy. Yeah. But if it's a longer period of time, let's go with Trey and just see what he can do. Because then Kyle has a pass in a way because, hey, our guy's out, Brock Purdy's out, and you did spend all this capital on him. And I know it's a sunk cost at this point, but why not just see what Trey can do and just – not that they're trying to appease the fans, but appease everybody. I mean, national media, not that they care. They just care about winning football games.
Now you're getting a lot of run, though.
But I'll put it to you
Your
like
boy
this.
Acho.
But I'll put it to you like this. If Brock Purdy did go down and the Niners believe Sam Darnold is a better quarterback and eventually Sam Darnold's, and he sees ghosts, he throws a pick, whatever it is,
oh, man,
wouldn't they get destroyed for not putting in Trey? I mean, you have an obvious opportunity.
And I think they would.
Because
there is a leash.
In the Bay Area, Sam Darnold is, hey, he's got these weapons. Look what he can do now. But if you leave the Bay Area, Sam Darnold's still Sam Darnold. And again, the optics don't really, I know they don't care about that, but either way, if you don't have that Lombardi and Brock was injured, and you got Trey on the sideline when you had an opportunity. Again, I'm saying if this was a long period of time and you decided to go with Sam Darnold, I mean, that would be a terrible look. That'd be a terrible look, in my opinion.
Well, again, it's projecting, and it's projecting to the point to where Sam Darnold, in his career, these are facts, never had at his disposal on defense and on offense what his new team has provided him.
Yeah.
Okay. So if he were to get out on the football field, I don't think the blowback would be. I think people can see the forest for the trees, Alan. I think some are saying, we understand this dude, it's just been a total mess. But if you get him around here, what's Will Smith? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You get him out of here, and the riches will be, your cup will runneth over. Okay. I believe that's what they're projecting with Sam Darnold. Trey Lance, I can't say to the Trey Lance stands, and I was one of them, that
I'm glad you're saying was now.
His biggest foe is Sam Darnold. His biggest foe has been him, his ability to stay healthy. Okay, so with that, I believe Kyle knows, because you said something that lightweight triggered me. I'm not mad at you, and I do kind of believe if there were a scoreboard, Darnold's winning. But the fact that Kyle has not announced it, I'm like, okay, game on. And how big is this Friday night's game if I'm wrong? Because I think of JD. I think of Grant Cohn. I think of Sterling Bennett, who joined the morning show. Phenomenal. Him and Grandy and Evan Giddings, what they do. And other, big-time media guys that use what the Niners do on a daily basis to create content and report on the team. And it goes back to, follow me now, like Steiny did, to, is Kyle playing with everybody when he could already announce who his backup quarterback is? And I feel like he's kind of, y'all will get the answer when I feel like giving you, which he's done in the past.
Right.
Or is he really in the lab like John talking about Lynch? I don't know who it is right now.
Yeah, I think it could be a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think that Kyle does. We've seen Kyle do this before, but I do believe that he knows if he had to play tomorrow,
you think
who it would be.
Darnold would be the backup?
Probably. Again, it's the safer option in theory. And that's what you need. It's less about a conversation about Trey Lance and more about what you need out of your backup QB position. And that's why I think it's hard to answer this question without knowing how long Brock Purdy's out.
Yeah, El Dio Espinoza, you can't say the Niners are a Super Bowl roster on the YouTube chat and hoping a third-year quarterback starts. Nobody's hoping that Trey Lance, we all understand and have identified that Brock Purdy's the starter.
Yeah.
We're saying, Mr. Espinoza or Mrs., if last year, if there's a duplicate of last year, then you're going to be on your third string quarterback. The key then is, Mr. Espinoza, can you have the same success you had with Brock Purdy that you did when normally football seasons go down the drain?
Right.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah, and it's almost...
Last year was incredible.
It's almost a gift and a curse, what last year was. Obviously, it's a gift because you have Brock Purdy and you have a guy who you believe can be a very good quarterback for hopefully a long time.
But the gift was after we opened it.
It was after you open it, and that's what the curse is. Because how you got to the gift,
nice.
Now you have to talk about the curse, and it's been injuries at the quarterback position. So you never even get to see Brock Purdy. If nobody gets injured, you don't ever see Brock Purdy, and you don't see him unlock this offense.
You're right.
The way he has. With that being said, you also didn't get to continue to see Brock Purdy because he got injured. So it's nobody hoping that you see Trey Lance, right? I'm sure those people are out there, don't get me wrong, but it's also just a conversation of this is a team who you look at them differently than other teams, right? And hang with me here, Goo. It's a bit of a if you're looking on your maps, it's not a hard right, but it's a slight right.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking about how Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have been very vocal, even though Kyle Shanahan came out and cleared up his comments about the real deal. He did that on Sirius. But they really do love Brock Purdy. I believe that. And why wouldn't you, based on what he did? But I am wondering if some of this, and the pick specifically, is similar to, hang with me now, when the Warriors lost 3-1, and then what did you get after losing 3-1?
The best
you got
cologne
Kevin
ever.
Durant.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if maybe they haven't done it yet because they haven't won it, but I'm wondering if that's part of the thought process. Hey, yeah, we missed on Trey, but our hit on Brock is more impressive than how bad our miss on Trey was. People miss. We had the bus conversation when you were here, and then
I was listening, driving,
and the crossover. Yeah. People swing and miss all the time. Marcus Mariota was the second
didn't
overall
want to call
pick.
Jameis a bust.
He didn't want to. He didn't want to, and a lot of people didn't on the Xfinity Mobile text line, YouTube chat as well. So, and people who called in. So I guess I believe Kyle and I believe John Lynch, but also how much of that is, hey, everybody misses on QB sometimes, but how many people hit on mystery relevant? And if I was them, Goo, I'd do the same thing. I would double down. I know you're going to be a circa on Friday. I would double down. I would triple down on Brock Purdy because you kind of have to.
Right. And what did Cowherd had the stat I shared with 75% of the quarterbacks drafted don't pan out?
Yeah.
Okay, that's strong. But at the end of the day, all Kyle owes his organization is wins.
Yeah.
And right now they've been doing that, but it's the ultimate win. And Alan, is there anybody walking the bay that would be fixated on you miss Trey if he were to hoist up the Lombardi trophy?
Nobody.
With Mr. Irrelevant and the story that would be or came with that. That washes that out.
Gone.
Just like your great call, Durant was the best cologne. Alan, we took calls on this station. I did shows to where people, the title of the show was, would you rather lose the finals knowing you got Durant?
Yeah.
And I wanted to rip the mic out like, hell nah. That's what a chip means to me.
The 3-1 you're saying?
Like, would you be okay losing the finals if you knew next year you were getting Durant? But people live like that. They were like, yeah. Hell no, I'm that close to it.
I really wanted that 3-1.
And you should.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't 3-1, you should want that chip more than Yeah,
come
man.
on, man. No.
But they're people.
Hey, but only timeout. You got a timeout. Get
that
out of
triggered
here.
you.
I don't like that, man.
Only time it's ever happened.
Thank you, Goo.
Yeah.
You think I didn't know that?
You didn't know, but
and NBA TV, they plays it any time. They don't have anything else
Alan,
to play.
My point is, do you think there are Niner fans that would still say, I want to throw a dart that I would say win the day after the parade or the day before? If you want it with Brock Purdy, you have to let the miss on Lance. It's over.
Right. And
because business is booming.